I look forward to September. That's my Christmas, because September is my bow hunting month. That's when I go and elk hunt, and that's when the rut happens. You go out in the mountains.
And the animals are doing sex out there?
They're doing sex out there.
And when, September?
They're also doing violence.
Are they really?
Smashing heads into each other.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of that.
Dude, it's wild to hear. When you're out in the mountains and you hear them screaming, and you hear crack, 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 where they're just smashing antlers against each other. Oh, dude, and they're all bone. Those antlers are the quickest growing bone. Oh, my God. When they're horny. What's crazy is they're only mean to each other for like a month. And then the rest of the year, they're like, cool, they're just hanging. Like, remember
because it starts in their body and makes them mean.
Horny. They want to keep everybody away from their bitches.
Yeah, I've wanted that. If you ever want to keep a
Could you imagine if that's how it was with people? If we only fucked once a year, and right before that time you start growing horns on your head, and we stabbed each other with our heads.
Herb Dean, get Herb Dean out there right before.
You imagine if that's how if people bred like animals, if we had to like physically battle each other for the
could use
right
it.
To
I think we could use it, because one of the toughest things about being a society is people can just fucking and this you can make any. There's no like there's this open end to society where it's just like
any idiot can have a kid and then abuse that kid, and then that kid grows up all fucked up, and then that kid becomes a problem in society because they were raised by shitty dumb people. Yeah.
So no matter how much work you do up here in the top and the middle, and even at some of the lower levels, there's just this revolving like nut at the bottom that's just coming out, just or ejaculating ignorance if it wants to. There's this loose piece. Kind of.
There is one problem that's real that exists in nature, right? In nature, the weak get culled. Like the weak animals, they don't breed, they don't survive.
Right.
But in our world, weak is not physical anymore. It's like we've made it so that weak physical people are sometimes the strongest, most powerful people. Like if you think about like billionaire Bill Gates, like he's frail, he's got a pot belly, and he's worth $100 billion. Like these kind of people. So it's more about their minds and the business that they've created than it is about like physical health and vitality. Right? The strong and powerful are no longer like physically strong and powerful, which is probably wise, because otherwise you'd have like the biggest, like the mountain from the Game of Thrones be the king of the world, right? Because he can fuck everybody up. But because they invented weapons, and then they invented technology, and then it kind of balanced everything out. But on the downside of that is that there's no physical requirements at all to be able to get through with society. So incredibly weak, frail people can breed. And I mean, when I say incredibly weak and frail, I mean mentally as well. Like,
I've seen them.
They have this, it's too easy to survive is what I'm saying. So like these assholes who don't take care of their children, who abuse their families, people that are just fucked up people, they have no problem breeding. Right. And then they might have people all over the place that they fuck and give birth to, or they give birth to their children. So you have all these kids that they're not being taken care of, and it's like, shit, how do you fix that? Well, nature would have fixed it, right? But we can't have that because it's barbaric. It's horrible. You can't have just like the weak people die off and they get slaughtered by the strong people.
Right, it's barbaric.
It's barbaric.
Right. And that's the thing that's different about being a human is we don't do as much barbarism blatantly.
We do in a weird way.
Right. Not blatantly, though, where we're out just beating, you can't see somebody, drag their neighbor out and just beat him in the street and kill him just because the guy's, not, hadn't been, paying his water bill or
exactly.
or can't read.
Or can't read. Like, here's an interesting situation. Like, everybody is the news about that Alec Baldwin accidental shooting is crazy, right? It's gigantic news. He killed a woman on the set. The director of photography shot the director. I mean, it's a crazy, fucked up story. But the Biden administration, they droned a family in Afghanistan. I mean, I think it was 7 kids. Like 10 people dead.
Let's
7
go, Brandon, dude. It's crazy.
Find out what that was. But meanwhile, you don't hear a peep about it.
Yeah.
You literally don't hear a peep about it. It's like, whoops. and then like occasionally someone brings it up on Twitter, and it gets no steam. It doesn't catch any momentum.
Well, the presidents now are. You know, I was thinking the other day that America, it feels like this shell corporation it used to feel like this real thing to me when I was growing up, and it was like I'm part of America, and we're all doing our best, and everybody's trying, and you help out the person that's struggling. And you know, I like to romanticize stuff. You know, I like that.
Me too.
And so, but then now sometimes I feel like, man, I think that's part of the thing that feels disconnected these days is I think, I don't know.
Well, the more they pledge loyalty to corporations, the more it feels like that.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it's about us.
Yes, and it feels like like America's like just an LLC now for this like.
Here it goes. Look at this.
Bigger thing that's happening.
You're 100% right. Afghan family says errant U.S. missile killed 10, including 7 children, relative friends and colleagues of I don't want to fuck this person's name up. Zemari Ahmadi angrily dismissed any suggestion that he had ties to ISIS.
Oh, damn.
The U.S. military is investigating. So they droned an innocent family.
To ISIS-K, I guess there's is that like a subgroup, I guess?
It's like LBGTK.
Yeah. They keep adding. It's like,
yeah, they do that with ISIS.
Yeah. There should be gay ISIS. There has to be a gay ISIS group, right?
You can't be gay and be an ISIS.
Oh.
You know? That's like being a black white supremacist. But actually, that's possible now. Dude. They're saying that.
Oh yeah.
Anytime a black person says anything like doesn't go with the Democratic narrative, they said that person's carrying water for white supremacists.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
They're out of their fucking mind. That lady that was the new lieutenant governor of Virginia, that is a black woman who she's sponsored by the NRA. I mean, I don't know what all of her accolades are, but incredibly articulate lady. Powerful woman. They're saying that her becoming the lieutenant governor is a victory for white supremacy. I read that. I read that on
she's
Twitter.
A black woman.
She's a black woman. When then Larry Elder was running for governor of California, they said he's the black face of white supremacy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
What? What are you saying? What the fuck are you saying? Like, you could disagree with the man's politics, but that white supremacy is like a stamp they like to put on as many things as they can. Like 15% off.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
well, dude, I'm sick of like, there's been this thing against white people. Like, I don't know.
Here it is.
Damn, Shorty out here grinding, bro.
Response to the tweet.
Yeah, okay,
this looks like a Donnell Rawlings character as well.
Jamel
I'm going
Hill
to go
says
ahead
it's
and say
not
that.
the messaging, folks. This country simply loves white supremacy, and this is because of the victory in Virginia by the Republican Party. But